Dad. Well,
yeah.
became a father. That's the most. And then community superintendent. I am sort of tasked on behalf of the superintendent because we have 200 schools in our system. So the superintendent, it would be very difficult for him to be aware of the day-to-day issues in all of those schools. So we actually break up the school system into 6 areas. And then we have a community superintendent for each one of those areas. And that person supports those schools, supervises those principals, sort of monitors how they're doing, coaches their leadership staff. So I have 36 schools and also the alternative programs here in Montgomery County. Yes. Yeah, it's a very different type of job.
Yeah.
I spend a lot more time in my car. I enjoy being able to work with principals. A lot of them, because I've been in the WJ cluster already and because I now work with the WJ cluster, and also having been a high school principal here in the system, I knew a bunch of the high school principals. So it's nice to be able to work with colleagues that I already know, but also to be able to work with them in a different way. So I've enjoyed that. I have to say I enjoy elementary school far more than I ever thought I would.
Aww.
Yeah, I was kind of always afraid of elementary school, as I was always a high school person, and I didn't really understand those kindergartners or first graders, and to me they were just like running noses and stuff. But now that I've gone into elementary schools all year, and I spent a lot of time in elementary schools, I have to say that they are, you have amazing teachers in elementary school. I couldn't do it, but amazing teachers and principals who work with those kids, and great kids, and they just, you'll just be walking through the halls, and they'll just come up and hug your legs. It's kind of, at first I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then they just do that, which is different, luckily, from high school. I don't think I would have liked that in high school as much, but. What do I not quite love about my new position? I have far too many meetings that I have to go to, and some of them are really long meetings. So I spend far too much of my life now sitting, which when I was here at WJ I didn't do as much because I would tend to walk around a lot, and if I did go to a game or an event, a lot of times I would be standing, and I just was very used to sort of standing, walking around. Even here when I was in meetings, I often kind of got up, and I wasn't one for sitting for long periods of time.
To stroll.
Yeah, I like to stroll, do my walkabouts around the school, things like that. And so now I end up sitting a lot more, which I really am not a big fan of. Yeah. Right? So my wife and I had a little boy, and so he's now 5 months old, almost 6 months old. So he's like going on 23 weeks, and so that's pretty awesome. But I have to say that the babysitting right now is the easiest gig in the world. Because we always go out around, she gets here at like 7, and he goes to bed at 7.
Oh.
So she just kind of hangs out at our house while he sleeps. And we're also really lucky because, unlike many babies, he sleeps through the night. He's been doing that almost since he was born. So he tends to go to bed around 7, and he doesn't wake up. We wake him up usually around 6. So it is a really easy babysitting gig. Well, I think I've gotten a better sense of what, a lot more of the system-wide initiatives and work that goes on at the system level. I've spent a lot of time working on issues around budget, capital projects. I would say that I've learned that, I knew that I had great colleagues out there already when I was a principal running these other schools, but that's been reinforced for me. We have a lot of really good people out there working in our schools. Of Montgomery County, no.
No. Of the world?
Of the world, yes. That's the actual plan. No, I think that, the community, the way it works is, I think it would be odd to become the superintendent here of a system that I've been in this long. Mm-hmm. If I was going to be, look at becoming a superintendent, I'd probably be, leaving the area, going somewhere else. But I'm still not sure if that's sort of what I want to do, or there's a part of me that would probably, like to do this for a couple of years and have this experience, but then go back to being a school-based leader. I hope that they understand how fortunate they are. When you're a part of a place, you sort of take it for granted, and sometimes when you leave it, then you realize just how great it is. I always sort of thought I was I knew when I was here that I loved, WJ, the students, the community, the faculty, but I would say that I'm even more aware of that now that I've stepped away. As long as this is confidential, of course it's the best. I mean, Whitman, Wheaton, and BCC are great high schools, but come on. The best things actually is I shared this with Mr. McCready, who of course leads our the dynasty known as debate and forensics here, and I shared with him I was at BCC at the very beginning of the school year, and I was walking around, and there was a poster, a flyer on the wall saying "Join debate" at BCC. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like join a group of winners. You know, BCC debate, and they had a picture on there. The picture, 2 WJ kids. I tore one off the wall. I gave the principal such a hard time. I was like, I can't believe you. What are you using our kids? Has she run it into the ground yet? She's doing great. I mean, we knew that she would do a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. I taught with Miss Baker here years ago. She actually followed me as the head of. I was running the SGA, and then when I became the head of the social studies department here before Mr. Healy, Miss Baker actually then took over the SGA, and so we worked together here when she was in the math department. She and I have been both professional colleagues and also personal friends for a long time. And so when I realized I was going to be leaving, she was definitely on the short list of candidates that we were hoping would apply. And so she did, and everything that I've seen when I've come to visit, and everything I've heard from talking with her and talking with others, is she's doing a great job. And again, I knew that she would. She's an awesome leader. You know, WJ is an awesome place, and I just hope that people here are fully aware of that. I think people are. I'm looking forward to whenever I have the opportunity to sort of stop back on campus and
hang out with us.
And hang out with you guys. I did think I was escaping it, but I do believe I have to come back and get duct taped. No, I mean, I just think that the new job is fun, but nothing compares with being the principal of Walter Johnson. So yeah, I will be at the graduation. I mean, I would have been there anyway as the community superintendent, but then your classmates, the senior class officers, asked me if I would be the speaker.
Oh, that's exciting.
So yeah, it's a real privilege. So I was really touched and honored by that. And so now instead of just sort of sitting on stage, which is what I was going to be doing anyway, now I'll sit on stage and then get up and talk for a little while. You get to shake my hand. I'll be up on stage, so as people go by, they can shake my hand.
That's important.
And I didn't want to miss out shaking 500 hands.
Might need some sanitizer afterwards.
I definitely need some hand sanitizer, and just make sure that people. This would be my advice to folks out there: is just when you're graduating, the seniors, don't get too nervous. And I'd say that because I care about you, but also because I really don't want to be shaking all those sweaty hands. Oh. So it's also just from pure self-interest. But,
all right.
Yeah, but no, I'm really excited about being at the graduation. It'll be an awesome day.